Road trip for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. They're traveling to take on the vaunted 49ers defense Sunday, only on Fox. Tampa, a 3.5-point underdog, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Shannon, does Tom Brady pull this off?
He can, but I don't think he will. And I know I'm picking Brock Purdy, but actually I'm picking the 49ers defense. I just haven't seen enough consistency from the Bucs offense to make me think that they can get to a number that Brock Purdy shouldn't be able to reach also. They're averaging about 18 points a game, and Brock Purdy at home should be able to get at least 19 points in a game. You look at Brady, he's thrown 16 touchdowns, 31st in yards per attempt. He's 13th in completion percentage. And what he does, he tries to lull you to sleep. It's a lot of swing passes, a lot of screens, a lot of jailbreak screens, bubble screen to the wide receiver. And then if you think he catches you napping, he'll try to shoot Mike Evans deep on you.
Or little Scotty.
Or little Scotty, yeah, or little Scotty. If Scotty Miller comes in the game, my antenna's already
I'm just running back.
I'm already thinking they're trying to send him behind me. The good thing that the 49ers have going against for them offensively, Skip, is that the Bucs don't turn you over. They're 31st in takeaways. They only have 11 on the season. But they do a great job of limiting your touchdowns once you get into the red zone.
They do.
They force you to kick field goals. And the longer you can force a team to kick field goals, the more opportunities Brady get a chance to get information. Even though he's not scoring, he's gathering information. And so now if you mess around late in the ball game when you're only 6 points or 3 points ahead, he's collected enough data of what you're wanting to do and what you're trying to do that he normally can get to the end zone and he can end up beating you on a late throw. So I'm going to say the 49ers win a very, very close ball game. I'm going to say they win 20-16.
20. So you're giving them, Brock Purdy, 20 points against the Bucs defense?
Yeah, that's all I got for you.
Okay.
I'm hoping he get 20.
Okay, if he can get 20, it'll be like 40. That's what it'll seem like.
For him.
By the way, to your point about the Bucs defense this year, there's so many times I sit back and I think they're just not very good. And then they bend and they don't break.
Right.
They're classically bending but not breaking.
They just don't take the ball away, Skip.
They don't take the ball away.
You look at the Eagles, you look at the Cowboys, you look at the defenses at the top, they all do what? Take the ball away.
So you can possess the ball against them.
Right.
You can drive against them, but all of a sudden somebody will make a play late in the drive that will thwart the drive and keep you to 3.
That's it.
All right. To me, this game has 14-13 written all over it. And I'm going to say that Brady is going to be the 14.
Okay.
All those numbers, obviously, I cannot argue with and I cannot defend. But Tom Brady, late in games, has been about as good as anybody playing this year. In fact, I could make a case he's been the best late clutch quarterback. Once again, I'm talking about late game situations against Green Bay, obviously, and then against the Rams. And then here we win against the Saints. But they're all late. I do like the fact that Todd Bowles did acknowledge X's and O's that, we're really good in the 2-minute, because once they go to 2-minute and they start going no huddle, it starts to percolate to me. Is it because Brady can call some of his own stuff where he gets in a roll in his head where he thinks, okay, I got you. We can get a little momentum here?
Well, a lot of times, Skip, in the 2-minute, you're really basic defensively. You're not getting exotic. Because they're in a hurry tempo.
You can't substitute, obviously, on the fly.
Right.
Okay, so do I think we might see some of that early game? I do think we'll see some of that, but you made the case, your receivers, you better start subbing pretty quickly because you're going to be running and you're like running sprints.
Exactly, and you can't sub. So once you start subbing, now the defense, the umpire's going to stand over the ball, and he'll let the defense sub also. So that's what Tom wants to do. Tom doesn't really want to sub, Skip, but because he knows that, you know what, if I keep this hurry up, y'all going to stay basic. Y'all can't get exotic.
Okay. What is Tom Brady up against? His biggest challenge of the year, because as you and I have spoken all week, this is the best defense in pro football, slightly better than my defense, my Dallas Cowboys defense. They are number 1 in points allowed. They are number 1 against the rush, and now they're going up against the Buccaneers, who are dead last in rushing the football.
Yes.
I do like what I see from Rashad White. He obviously caught the little touchdown pass that won the game the other day. I like his swerve. I like his athletic ability. I like his explosiveness. And yet, in the end, I like playoff Lenny. And he seems to be getting a little healthier now. And so the 1-2 punch of them, you're going to have to establish something here, or you're going to have no shot, even though you're going up against a defense that is man, it's soundproof, man.
Yeah.
You just can't penetrate this defense. The pass rush is sensational, and I'm going to remind you, Brady's offensive line is down 4 Pro Bowl players from who started last year, because obviously Ryan Jensen's gone and Ali Marpet retired, and who's the other one went to Kappa went to the Bengals, and Tristan Wirfs is still game timey. You know, they're saying maybe, but it sounds doubtful that he's going to play.
I don't know if you really want him on one leg out there against Nick Bosa.
No, you don't. Okay, so it's a makeshift offensive line. It's a lot of backups. It's subs. It's people who don't have long-term NFL futures going against the best pass rusher. And I'm acknowledging that at this moment he's playing at a slightly higher level than Micah 11 from heaven is, right? Okay, so I think we both agree Brady is up against it.
Right.
All right, so
he
now...
He loves being in this moment, though, Skip.
He loves it.
He hears everybody say, we ain't got no chance, we ain't got no chance.
I got it, and I'm with you. So I read this quote yesterday, and if you will suffer me this, I'm going to read it one more time because it's the essence of what's about to happen in my point of view, and I think it's been underplayed this week about what happened between him and the Shanahans and your coach Mike and son Kyle. They've had 2 chances with Brady knocking on their door saying, let me come home and finish with the team I grew up loving. He grew up in San Mateo, which is kind of halfway in between Candlestick, where the 49ers used to play, and down at, what do they call it now? Levi, which is to the south, Santa Clara. So the point is, he asked after the Patriots pushed him out the back door, could I come home? And then he asked this past offseason when he quote-unquote retired, the first thing he asked was, would you guys let me come back at least for a year or 2? And he got big no's both times. So this is a quote that he gave to Jim Gray on XM Radio. They were doing a public, what do you call it, a town hall. Yeah. All right, here we go. This is Tom Brady. There's private things for me that are going to remain motivational for me. They know who they are. It's fine. Everyone has a choice to choose. I think what you realize is there's not as many smart people as you think. That's just the reality. I think it'd be a no-brainer if you said, hey, you got a chance to get Wayne Gretzky on your team, or you got a chance to have Michael Jordan on your team. Oh, we don't need him. No, thanks. We're good. In my mind, I'm kind of thinking, okay, let me go show those teams what they're missing. At the same time, let me prove to the team that did bet on me and the team that really showed they really wanted me and committed to me that I'm not going to let them down. Essence of what's about to happen. He wants to go home where he wanted a fairy tale ending, and the closest he's going to get to a fairy tale ending in San Francisco is to go win this game against all odds.
Well, Skip, the thing is, he said Gretzky, and he named some great names. Everybody was lining up to get the Edmonton Wayne Gretzky. I don't know if everybody was lining up to get the LA King Wayne Gretzky. Everybody would have been lining up to get the Jordan in '98 after he's a three-peat. I don't know if they was lining up to get the Washington Wizards, Michael Jordan.
But in his head, he's thinking, I'm still Tom Brady, and this is back after the Patriots, where and as we all know, in the pandemic year, he goes down to the sucking ears, the worst franchise in the history of sports in overall winning percentage, and turns them into a championship team.
But you think about it though, Skip, and I know he's Tom Brady, and he had done what he had done, but it's just hard to believe that you're like 20 years, that a guy can play for another 3-4 years at the level that we've enjoyed him playing at 15 or 16 years. Skip, there are not very many people that go say, yeah, sign me up for that.
Okay. I was bullish on it. I was even banging the table for my Cowboys when it looked like Dak and Jerry had gone sideways, and they're not going to do it. And the reason the Shanahans didn't do it is, number one, what you said. Well, they just think, not that he's washed, but he's on the downside. He doesn't have enough left to take us to the promised land, and they would have been wrong about that because I think he would have. But where they are right about it is they would have to cede control to Tom Brady. They would, and it's what they do. It's who they are. The fabric of the Shanahans is what you grew up in. It's that offense that they teach, that they coach, that they strategize as well as anybody in the game. The way they do business is they run the football very creatively, and they will run it down your throats. And it's a little more finesse running to me, where you can mix and match. It's more of cogs. You can put, it seems like every other week another running back gets hurt, and here's somebody we've never heard of. Oh, and he gets 120 yards, Okay, so that's the way they did it. How did you go win a Super Bowl? Terrell Davis was a sixth round pick also, right? Okay.
But if you look at the guys that we had in the offense, you look at Cleveland Gary, he rushed for 1,200 yards.
Okay.
Ruben Jones rushed for 1,200 yards. Mike Anderson rushed for
He
1,500
did.
yards. But the thing is, Skip, you look at what 49ers had. They had Breida, they had Mostert, they had Jeff Wilson, they have Jr. So basically, you don't plug anybody. That's why they don't take running backs with high draft picks. Look like, hey, we get anybody. This system, what we do, hey, we don't need no first second round draft pick. Now they do get it traded for Christian McCaffrey.
They did
because he do a lot of different things.
Stuff. Okay, and they knew him because his father played with you.
He was around all the time.
Okay, so it's something where you say he's a great kid.
Yes,
because they knew him when he was a little kid.
Right.
They watched him grow up, and he went to Stanford, and he has roots in the Bay Area.
Yep.
So it was a beautiful move for them, and I'm sure it's going to pay off.
Yes.
But the point is that Brady goes psycho Tom on these things because a motivation like this is exactly what he needs to go out there and try to win a game against all odds. In fact, I'm actually surprised it's only 3.5. The 49ers are only favored by 3.5. When I tried to guess the spreads, and I thought it'd be 5.
I think it would have probably been a little higher had Jimmy G been in.
Maybe.
I think they're giving Brady.
It's a Brock Purdy.
Yeah. I think that.
I got it, but they're still loaded
But think about it,
and
Skip.
good.
The home team normally gets 3.
Yeah,
so they're only getting 3.
Half.
So
it's a half, right?
So basically, I believe it might have been 3.5, maybe 4, had Jimmy G would been in the starting lineup. But you're saying, hold on, that is still Tom Brady now. We know what he's capable of.
Okay, so there's some respect for that.
Absolutely.
And I think there's still some respect for the Bucs as a football team.
Yeah, you'd be foolish not to respect them.
Right.
Because like I said, that defense is going to keep them. The question is, can the defense keep them in games long enough?
Yeah.
If you remember, Skip, like the game got away from Kansas City.
Yeah.
Defense comes in. Mahomes was just going up and down the field. But all the other games, the Steelers, it still came down to a 2-point conversion to tie this thing up.
Yep.
It came down late into the ball game. So their defense will keep them in. They'll force you to keep kicking field goals, or they'll blitz, to take you out of field goal range, make you to punt it. And the next thing you know, you're like, well, damn.
Yeah.
You look up, and here come Tom Brady with a chance to beat you.
That is correct. I told you I've watched a whole lot of Brock Purdy. He won't embarrass you. He won't muck it up.
Right.
He won't unravel in a game like this. He'll play about as well as you could expect a 7th-round draft pick to play. He'll be okay.
Right.
And he could play well enough for you to win this game, mostly because he's going to be handing the ball off a whole lot.
But if I'm Tampa, what am I going to do, Skip? I'm gonna force you to. I got to stop the run.
You have to.
I want to I want to see if you can replicate what you did last week by throwing the ball and getting some of those completions against the Dolphins.
Okay.
I can't let you run. First of all, you don't want them to run the ball, Skip, because you don't want them to possess it and keep Brady off the field. Because if they run the football, that means Tom doesn't have the ball.
Yeah.
I want Tom to have the ball because your defense doesn't produce points like the Eagles, like the Cowboys. If you could produce points, take the ball away, scoop and score, pick sixes, I got no problem. But your defense is not like that. You only have 11 takeaways on the whole season.
The whole season. I believe that Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. will play his best game of the season. Will it be good enough against this defense? I point out to you again, Jarrett Bell had a piece in USA Today 2 days ago in which the great Ronnie Lott, ex-49er, was comparing this defense, and you thought this is crazy, but he was comparing it to the Steel Curtain Steelers of the 70s, to the 85 Bears, and to Lawrence Taylor's New York Football Giants defense. He said it's all of that caliber. It has that kind of a ceiling to it. Well, if Brady gets sacked 8 times, obviously, they're going to lose, and he can't. At 45, he can't take that.
Yeah, he gets sacked 8 times. I'm not so sure he's going to be playing next week.
That is correct, and that's not what he wants.
No.
So we're going to see a lot of dirt balls where he just has to throw it away.
You're going to see Brady getting the ball out of his hand extremely quick.
Yep.
You're going to see a lot of smoke screens, a lot of bubble screens.
You're right.
You don't drop back in the 5-step drops and let Bosa and Armstead, Echelon, those guys get closer and closer and touch it. He's getting the ball out of his hand quick. You know, he's the master of the screen. Nobody has thrown more screens in their lifetime than Tom Brady. Tom Brady's probably thrown more screens than